Welcome to my channel everyone. Bitcoin is currently trading at $111,650. In this video we are going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP and Solana. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap taker fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc. There you always find 100 tokens without any kind of fees. So if you ask me, fees are going to eat a lot of profits on mexc. You almost get everything of your profits. Here also Solana, Sui, Cardano, Avalanche, ARP, Tau, ONDO, all of those coins, and most of them we talk about daily, they are all tradable at the moment without any kind of fees. Sometimes you can also find Bitcoin and Ethereum there. The link is in the video description, and if you use my link, you will also get a 20% discount on the coins which have a taker fee. So let's get to Bitcoin. We have said about Bitcoin that this movement here looked corrective, but we have also said that we can invalidate the bear flag. We did, so basically I can take it out from the chart now. This pattern got invalidated. What we have developed are two different chart patterns right now. So basically the first one is the bearish one. It is this rising wedge. We don't see those kind of bearish chart patterns for the altcoins. The altcoins have all bullish chart patterns. I will give you them shortly. If we break the rising wedge to the downside, current price mark is the $111,100, but over the time for sure it's going to move more to the upside. Then I think the first target is going to be this green trend line at $110,300. If we are going to lose it, then I actually think that the chance of selling off into $105,800 to $107,115 is going to get with a high chance, because we have there a huge fair value gap. On the other hand, we talked about the bearish scenario, but what about a bullish scenario? This also looks like an inverted head and shoulders formatation. The thing is, it might be possible that this was the right shoulder, or if this here was the left shoulder, this is here the head, and here we are going to get a right shoulder. So I would still keep those two scenarios in mind. That's why I've also said if we break the rising wedge to the downside, then my target is not directly the fair value gap down below here. It's first the $110,300, because if we get their support, and you can see how often we bounced there, here twice, then we lost the support and retested it several times in this market stage. We broke it to the upside, afterwards support. So if we get their support at $110,300, then I'm actually positive that we can actually break the inverted head and shoulders formatation to the upside. If we break it to the upside, $112,622, it's going to be a good sign. I don't take the maximum target of that inverted head and shoulders formatation. For example, Ethereum also has an inverted head and shoulders formatation. There I took the maximum target. Here I just took the length of one shoulder. So if I put it to the breakout point, then $114,950 is going to get the target. If I'm very optimistic that Bitcoin is still bullish, what I don't think, I think the gains are made for Bitcoin for sure. That doesn't mean that we can't get a new all-time high, but percentage-wise, Bitcoin is going to be weaker. But if we get into the maximum target, it's going to be the $117,075 for Bitcoin. So we talked a lot about Bitcoin. Let's move to the best performer, Ethereum. So we are currently in an Ethereum season. I don't have to tell you that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin by far and since a longer time. And we can see it in the price development. So the price development which we got to the upside is not corrective anymore. Basically, we can think about higher prices. I have to take out this price mark, at least put it to the left side. We have had here a scenario which I can take out of the chart. This was just if we are not going to get this push over $4,458, then we should still sell off. I can take this one out of the chart. We broke it to the upside. Here we had different kind of scenarios. That scenario meant we are going to see a pullback at the area $4,670. I hoped that we are actually breaking it in one go to the upside. We didn't. So basically there we expected a pullback, and with that drawing I just wanted to tell you that I don't know where we are going to sell off for sure, but once we do, then we have bullish chart patterns which we can trade afterwards. So I can take all of them out of the chart because I just explained it, and we are currently in this market stage. So what we are getting right now is a small pullback. We are seeing a consolidation, this one right here, and yes, this consolidation can also go a step lower. What we are going to form is an inverted head and shoulders formatation. So this is the head, and here this might already be the right shoulder, but we can also sell off more, for example into $4,458, retesting the support again, getting there a bounce. And here's the thing, you can already see this green trend line. This green trend line is on the chart I think since 2 days or something. Now we have a chart pattern combined with that resistance. Means if the $4,671 breaks to the upside and we are going to hold a higher low. So here's a low, but this is a higher low to this one. If we then break the $4,671 to the upside, then I take the maximum target, because Ethereum is very bullish right now, from that head and shoulders formatation, which is the length of the head. I put it to the breakout point, target $5,030 for Ethereum. As long as we hold the $3,393, everything is good to me. If we lose that, then it might be even possible that we should sell off in the area round about $4,000. But so far we are near to it, yes, but I still expect a breakout. This is my primarily scenario. So if we now look over XRP, then we have said about XRP, $3.08, we didn't break it to the upside. We had this resistance since a longer time. And when I yesterday just extended this trend line, we perfectly got rejected there. What do we get now? I wanted to see a bullish consolidation. That's why we'll take this one out of the chart. This was just to symbolize the bullish consolidation. We have also said, hey, we have a support at $2.97. Might be possible that we just retest it and get for higher prices. So far, both scenarios are correct. That's what we wanted to see. I just see now two kind of different chart patterns. The first one is a falling wedge with this bright blue trend line, which you can see here. So if we draw it like this, then this is a falling wedge. If we break it to the upside, positive. I still think that the possibility of getting a bull flag is higher. So I still think that we are going to sell off lower than the low here. Maximum extension $2.94. I will put you here a price mark so you can see it at least. In that area it's going to get very interesting, because we also have here support down below here. But this support is actually some kind of an area. So I can also put the support right here. Actually I have to put a box here. But let's just keep it like this. So we still have the chance to sell over the time into the price mark of $2.93, for example. From there, getting a bounce, and we would be still very bullish for XRP. I would wait for the breakout over currently $3.03 over the time. This breakout level is going to move more to the downside, so the price is going to be lower, which would be also better. Lower prices are always better for long positions. And yes, then we can actually think about getting up to $3.30 to $3.32. And here's now the thing. We have two green trend lines. Those two green trend lines are huge resistance areas. If we break it sustainable to the upside, and this right here is not sustainable. With sustainable, I mean, we get, for example, yes, a candle close over it, first good sign. Afterwards, I want to see a couple more candles over the $3.08, then getting a retest, and in the retest I can jump into a long position. I'm just going to do it if it's going to be my first trade. If I actually jumped into a trade right here, then I can look into the chart structure and can try my long trade once we get a candle close over those green trend lines, but always keep in mind we can still sell off afterwards. So after we increase our position size, I'm always setting my stop loss to break even and just hope that the stop loss is not going to get hit. If yes, then I'm out plus minus 0. If we break more to the upside, then this can actually be a huge profitable trade. If we now look into the past, we have had here our falling wedge. It broke to the upside. Target $3.30 to $3.32, this fair value gap up here. And now we have a bull flag, which also directs us into that price area. And it now also depends on how we are getting up, because this can also be here an inverted head and shoulders formatation, which is also positive if we take then here also the length. For example, in its maximum extension, then for sure we can get even higher prices, $3.47. What I think is far more realistic is actually not taking the spread up to this resistance, instead taking it to $3.08. This is far more realistic in my opinion, because if we then put it to the breakout point, we have a third target directing us into $3.30 in that area. So very interesting, but first $3.03 have to break to the upside and $2.93 have to hold. But still here is another trend line which is red, $2.90. Once we break the $2.90 to the downside, then I think it is clear that we should sell off one more time or even a couple more times before we get higher prices. So if we now look over Solana, the whole chart structure of Solana is not tradable for me. So bad news. This looks at the moment like a double top pattern. Is this pattern going to get me scared off of Solana? No way. All the coins are bullish. Just because Solana has a bigger bearish chart pattern, it doesn't mean that Solana is bearish at all. Yeah, we can also break it here to the upside and can still get higher prices, as long as we hold the $186. And we are so far away that I think if we are going to get there, where are all the other coins? They are giving us already the signs before. So if XRP, for example, sells off at $2.90, it was the red trend line which I have drew you. If we break it to the downside, then we already get early indicators that Solana is not going to pump. But actually, I wouldn't look for it at the moment. Everything looks good to me. I would just think about it once we break certain price marks to the downside. So far, there wasn't a chart pattern which I can trade or see. We hoped for a bullish chart pattern, like for example falling wedge or a bull flag, which we have seen for example for XRP. So basically I can take this one out of the chart. Solana is the only coin which said no, I will still continuing getting higher prices. And the boxes which I have drew you, they played a key role. So we had our first box right here, where we got rejected. Afterwards we got into the second box, got a retest, broke it to the upside, retest, and here again the retest. So those support boxes are valid in my opinion. So if we lose it, current price level $280, don't worry, we still have one between $197.50 down to $195.50. So everything looks good to me, and the price mark of $186.30, yeah, it is so far away. But once we break it to the downside, I also have to tell you that, then we should sell off far more, even $160 for Solana, if we take the target of that pattern. But like I said, I think it is unrealistic that we are going to break it to the downside at the moment. Yeah, we can still develop bearish chart patterns over the time and also break to the downside. Always keep that in mind. Just because the overall sector is looking bullish doesn't mean that it has to play out bullish. I don't want to afraid you with that. I have named you some certain price levels where I would take my long trades for the altcoins. In the next video we are going to talk about Sui, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. There I will also tell you where I'm going to get into long positions, and afterwards another video about Render, Tau, Kaspa and ONDO. So if it's going to interest you, then in 30 minutes, round about then you will get the updates to those nice altcoins. See you.